Alright, so we are back, ready to continue moving through the story. We last left off, we brought General Nephis on board, and apparently that's going to be critical for us, right? In overthrowing Eparch and setting the Cryptus free so they can be better demons than they currently are, I guess, is the idea here. Um, that was probably always kind of an interesting approach for ArenaNet to take, right? And I don't know that it's worked out the way they would.
General,
I'm very
glad to
critical of
have you
this
on our
particular
side.
story portion.
Her Majesty forced the issue. I tried to maintain neutrality, to not provoke Eparch. But it was time. Past time.
She tends to get her way.
So I'm quickly learning. I'm pleased to have you as an arrow in our quiver. Your reputation precedes you.
Of
As does
course
yours.
it does.
What's your read on this situation?
Labris is in a difficult position. She didn't expect to have to defend herself at Eventide's march. I nearly suffered defeat here once myself during the Fourth Disquiet. It's not a particularly defensible position. If Eparch is aware of the situation, I find it unlikely he would risk exposure. So the one advantage Labris can press is numbers, and she will use them. I have deployed Patha, Arena, and Ramses in a horns formation. Striking from the flanks, we will strike the center. We must breach the defensive perimeter with a frontal assault.
And here we go. So this is something that I've heard Muckluck mention a few times, which is when we're told, about Eparch's numbers, we we get a handful of enemies. Apparently, there's only like 1,000 Cryptus total. I guess because we just interact with so few of them in one way or the other, good or bad. Like we just don't. Um, we just don't see a lot of Cryptus, I guess. So, yes, these massive numbers. We're now about halfway through. Let's keep chopping through.
Time to do some
Oh, and he went over there. Guess we're not quite on the same page, huh? On Nephis?
They'll have to hit much harder.
Labris's guards may have established hiding positions. Beware.
Ooh, that's a weird thing for a guard to do. But okay. Oh, and look, here they are, hiding positions.
Time to do some real damage.
There should be a few more on the other side.
Feel the fury.
Vertical envelopment. Initiate an airstrike.
Initiate an airstrike. Okay. I have a hard time with that. I'm sorry, but I just do. It's silly. That's what it is. It's a silly thing. Oh no! Ah! Uh, what you gonna do, man? What you gonna do?
Feel the fury. Pounded into dust. We heal as one. I could outrun a
Oh,
centaur.
you're kidding me. So, ArenaNet did a positive thing when they removed the issue of boundary maps ending instances. However, we still have a problem with boundaries in situations like this where like I have enemies right at the boundary and the mechanics needed to address that take me through the boundaries, and now like it's just nonsense, and it's super frustrating, honestly. It hasn't impacted us like so negatively that that we can't complete this portion or something, but like that keeps happening, and that's silly. There's no reason for that to happen. All they need to do is extend the boundaries slightly. And I don't know what the limitations are within like the engine of how big an instance can be or something. It may be that because we started, way over yonder and walked over here and everything that kind of went along with setting this scenario up and so forth. And plus, we're still going to advance further, geographically speaking, in this instance, where we're going to end up like, where is it? Like over here, I think. So maybe, but that's the area that's currently blocked off. So look at that. Stupid, just stupid. And now I got to get out of combat to map up again.
Feel the fury.
Yeah. I've heard folks who enjoy like raids, strikes, that kind of thing in some of the instance content ask the question of do they not test certain things, but you could almost make that that argument for a personal story instance here where surely if they when a developer played through this, did they not notice that there was the potential for that? Like, I mean, I guess the answer is no, but I don't know. Real weird. Alright. Now I can join you, Nephis. And now an area that was causing me so much trouble will soon be, see, unlocked. Like, I don't know, man. Again, I'm sure there's reasons like within how they program the game that makes that necessary, but it feels super weird. All right, Frode, Arena, Patha, Ramses. We're all here.
Majesty. Ramses, Arena, Wayfinder, clear these loyalists, and our quarry is cornered.
So I have a question. That's not hypercritical. It'd be like a lore question. This is not the same as like the super demony things that we see elsewhere. The architecture that's like largely like blood and gore and stuff like that. It'd be real interesting to know kind of what the history is there in terms of what was Nyos originally like, or like what was the origin of some of this. And I think probably when it came to the development of the game, like more than anything, it was just assets that they had available. People really we're not happy about the amount of reused assets in Secrets of the Obscure, and largely that is like not the thing that has bothered me. Of all the things I don't like about Secrets of the Obscure, like I don't find the reused assets to be the most egregious thing in this expansion, versus so many of the other problems that I think the expansion has. But did it, if that is what it is, and I don't know that that is a reused asset from, like another expansion or something like that. I don't believe it is. It looks like it's probably reused from like Wizard's Tower type stuff. But now it creates like a lore question of, what is the origin of some of this, some of these structures that we see here.
No limit to your arrogance. You believe yourself savior. You have no idea the commitment required to ensure the survival of our people. The strength of will to do that which needs doing, no matter the cost. I have the strength. Epoch has the strength. You, an upstart demonling with a cast-off traitor fawning at your side. No, you will lead us to extinction. I will not allow it.
Pretty good setup here with cinematography. And then we lose that.
You'll have to hit much harder.
You've always shared Epoch's penchant for delusion.
Super like cliche bad guy thing to do to send, well, like, if Labrys was really serious about putting us down, why not just send all 6 down here at once? I mean, wouldn't that be far more likely to, wipe us out? I don't know. And she could join them. That'd be 7. But no, she sent 1 down, and then 2 down, and then 3 down, which from a gameplay perspective is rewarding, right? Because alright, so ideally we would break her break bar during that, and like we'll want to give that some thought here in the future, setting up kind of CCs so that we can break her break bar next time that presents itself. But we didn't do it that time, so shame on us. All right. She should be getting ready to do it again.
Strength of the pack.
Ooh, I stood in that a little too long. Oh, sadness. Now I have to have my robot get me up. We failed to... no, we got it at the last second there. Alright.
Feel the fury.
Oh, did we not break it that time? Not sure we did.
Traitors! Epoch will pick your bones from his teeth.
Execute her,
Hold.
Majesty.
This is the queen of the crypts. one creature Epoch might truly value. She is worth more to us alive than dead.
She's too dangerous. I trust your judgment.
Kill her. Kill her now.
Patha.
Hathor, Majesty, she is valuable, and Epoch knows it. This is folly. Every second she lives.
Where you see folly, I see opportunity. Gather our forces. We need an audience. The time comes to reveal our strength. Wayfinder. A moment.
Okay, Patha, what's up?
Find Tekla at the encampment. She will have contacts throughout the area. We will have an army before this day is done.
I see Her Majesty's plan. It is bolder than I would risk, but she is nothing if not bold. If we take this action, we take it with no reservation. Find Tekla the Venerable. Her knowledge will prove invaluable.
Why can't we get that back piece? Maybe we can. I don't know. Maybe we can, and I just don't realize it. I did not invest heavily in this expansion. And even
we've got extractor towers here that we
prior to Nyos, I didn't. Oh, come on. I didn't invest heavily, honestly.
Still, the
Alright, so let's see what Tekla's got for us. Tekla? Tekna? What was it? Tekla. Alright, Tekla. Tesla? It's Tesla. Elon Musk, what do you got for him?
You must be the one they call Wayfinder. Patha sent you, I presume. She has always been clever and headstrong. Tell me, what knowledge have you been sent to wrest from my weary mind, youngling?
Youngling. Oh, am I a youngling? Where does that language pop up before? Younglings were something else. That's in like another expansion or something. Youngling has come up before. Anyway, we need a way to call all of Nyos to listen to Patha at the Coliseum. There are beacons around us that radiate. You people would say magic. Okay. Like the ones to the east that Lady Patha and Ramses lit. Eparch uses them to drive his people into the shadows, trapped. Find the beacons in Neander surrounds. As long as they are radiating Eparch's corruption, my kin are too scared to leave their homes. But your device, your heart, might hold the solution. Yeah. So the heart of the obscure can do everything. It's never been explained. It probably never will be. It's just a thing that at the very beginning of Secrets of the Obscure, before we even knew who these wizards were, they just gave us this thing. They're like, you take it, and we've always had it, and it does everything. And we don't know why. The heart of the obscure? Yes. Channel the power of your artifact into the beacons. How convenient. Let your emotions run raw and pure, so the hatred and fear from the beacons might yet be purged. Only then will Nyos hear Patha's call. Anything else I should know? Even your artifact has its limits. Cleansing of beacons' emotional magic will take time, and the king's fanatics will take notice. Be wary of enemies you might encounter along the way.
Once you locate the beacons, Patha will have the thrones she desires. For good or ill. Let us hope for the former.
Ew. Somebody's unhappy about something. Alright. Let's go find these beacons. Let's shut them down. Is one of the metas happening right now? Can't tell. Looks like it might be in map chat, but it's hard to know if we're in the same map we were earlier. These maps flip so often. Because the meta keeps popping up, and then it fails pretty often. It just, yeah. What a mess. What a mess, what a mess. Alright. There's one nearby here somewhere. Is it below us? Down there somewhere? I thought it was. Maybe not. Maybe it's over this direction. I think it's over this direction. There it is. So what Tekla described is exactly what happens. We're going to start cleansing this thing using the Heart of the Obscure, and then immediately, like, enemies are going to try and disrupt it. And depending on like which one it is, they do different things and they create different problems for us. So each one has like its own situation, but in all the cases, it's kind of going to require dealing with both range and all right, that was done with both range and melee. So you kind of got to just be good to go with like some ranged, and then deal with the melee, with a ranged weapon as well. That's my recommendation. But I've put so little time and effort into this expansion that might not be like, there might be smarter ways of doing it, and I just suck at this game, which is a true statement. So, whatevs. Okay. I think it's on the other side of this landmass here. Down here somewhere. There it is. Oh, is someone already doing this one, or is this an event? I think this is an event. Yeah, this is an event. So we probably, I don't necessarily feel like doing an event right now. I'd like to continue to advance the story. However, if we leave this event happening, then the dudes, as they pop up here, are going to be a little bit of a problem for us. That guy's just chilling. Wait, is that an NPC here? No, it's someone. Ah, well. Alright. Let's see, where are the... Someone should be walking over here. Yeah, there we go. There we go, the green one, not the orange one. Fortunately, they're real glassy in every case, in all three cases, which is it was probably like the right answer, because had they not been, it would have been probably even more frustrating than it is. Ooh, but let's stay away from the meta. I don't want to do that. Which is kind of taking place. So this is the meta that popped out with the content that we're still working on right now, and then it's the final meta that came with the last release. So that was the third releases, if you will. The second DLC, third overall release, Secrets of the Obscure, brought that meta that we saw back there. Alright, so there's the other one right over there, Radiating Beacon. Alright, let's get a couple of these out of the way real fast. Do we want to get that one too? Nah, we're good. We're good. Let's get this guy
Time
down.
to do some real damage.
Alright. So this one has dudes that spawn like right on top of it, and the explosive orbs there, those will be like immediately end your efforts to do this, so they can be a bit of a problem. All right, done. Done. Oh yeah, so now we need to do vistas. This is kind of like the weapon unlock thing, where it's like, hey man, if I wanted to do vistas, I would do vistas. Like, and one of my biggest, and that actually brings up something that's 100% worth talking about. Map completion on this map is ridiculous. So
Time to do some real damage.
with End of Dragons, they introduced this thing where you could duplicate map completion over and over again with the same character by lighting little lanterns. There's probably one around here somewhere. There should be, for that vista, there should be a lantern nearby. I don't particularly see it right now. It doesn't matter. They're all over the place because anywhere that there's a POI um, or a Vista or whatever the case, there's lantern. There's one. Starlight Lantern, right? So on a subsequent map clear, you would go through and you'd light the lanterns, and that was the same as getting the POI or the Vista or whatever the case may be. That was a great idea. I don't use that because I have so many alts. If I want to do a second map completion, I just do it with an alt. But I appreciate that not everyone loves alts the way I do. Some people are very much like one character type folks. They do everything on one tune, and I think it strengthens. So alts are a great feeling for me, but for some folks who really want like the completionism aspect of it, playing through with one character is probably like a more effective way of getting that, right? So completely understand and appreciate. There's another lantern right there, and they're all over the place. I should probably not just draw attention to them every time I see one like that one. I really like the lantern thing. It's a cool idea. What I don't like is with this map, because they released it in pieces and they didn't want people to be able to duplicate map completion or like mess up map completion in some way, um, as it was released in chunks. Lanterns are the only way to complete the map, but that was not clear until the final portion of the map was released. So many folks, like myself, had done map completion up until the last release on numerous characters, thinking that they would then get the necessary gifts from map completion relatively easily and quickly once that final release happened, in terms like legendary armor and stuff. Not the case. So the first time I completed the map, all of Inner Nyos, 100% up here, 202, 707, 50 out of 50, and I felt quite good about it, and I couldn't understand why I wasn't getting a gift. Map completion on this map doesn't do anything. You have to do the lanterns, but that wasn't clear until the final release. It was a bad feeling all the way around for everyone involved, and it was completely avoidable. They either could have explained that from the get-go, all the way back with the first DLC for Secrets of the Obscure, or they could have just not done it that way and just made map completion count once the entire map was completed. And you know, like I don't understand the necessity of that, and it feels really gross. And the lanterns, so far as I can tell, are not easy to track. So, like, if you're not going to have like a lantern thing up here, then what are you doing? Like, it's just garbage, trash. So much in Secrets of the Obscure, trash. Word is spread that the beacons have changed, but not the lanterns. Nyos is listening. Lady Patha will have the audience she speaks. Great. And this one changed too, apparently, has it? I don't know. Indeed, it changed while you were gone. Clearly connected somehow. We're learning things, I guess. You have your desired result, Wayfinder. Nyos has come alive to listen to Lady Patha. Coliseum Midnight King awaits. Are there more beacons? Of course there are. We're not even going to read that. There are more beacons. There, you know what you need to know. Alright, so the next story thing... Why am I running? Stop running, you. Alright. Is right here. And the meta is taking place. We'll see how close the meta is to being done. Maybe we'll catch the end of the meta and it'll be cool to have it like included in the video. But probably we'll just be jerks and go enter our personal story right in front of everyone while they're trying to complete the meta, because it's not a fun meta and I don't really want to do it. It's really that simple. I don't want to do it. And the next one's even worse. The final one is awful. It turns out Hator is the best of the three, I think. And that's an indictment on all of them, because Hator's not that good. Yeah, we're not gonna do this. Let's go. Let's go with more story. Let's what's going on with Labras? Labras? Strongly suggestive, isn't it? Look at all these people. Everyone showed up. It's my party and everyone's here for it. Oh, look. Queen Labras.
To accomplish with this performance.
It's a good question, General.
They need to see that even Epoch's most valued pawn can fall. But also that mercy is given to the vanquished.
This changes nothing. They know the power of their true master. All that you prove to them is your weakness in letting me live.
Save your strength, dear. You'll need it to explain your failure to your king. Children of Nyos, you have no need to cower so. Epoch's power fades with every passing hour. Even his queen has failed to carry out his will. The old world collapses around you, and a new one is being...
She certainly talks the talk, does she not? And yet, the people always recognize their one true king.
That's cool. It's a cool entry.
Farce with amusement. When it's time for the jesters to exit the stage. Honestly, did you think you would earn the trust of my Cryptis? Do any of you trust the words of this charlatan? Speak now if you would follow this child in her outburst. I thought not. I will make only one offer. Release my queen and you will go free. Kyria will be spared, and you can live in exile there.
Oh?
No! You cannot compromise with these traitors. Not even for me.
It appears we found the gap in your armor.
You will not use me this way. I see now how I have failed you, my beloved. I have become a weakness for you. But no longer.
You sought a war. You shall have it. Bring your army then. I will devour everything.
What now?
What now?
We continue as planned.
You have awoken him now. He will marshal every force he has against you.
Oh, we've been shown mercy until now.
Make light if you must, but learn from this mistake before you bring ruin to my people, to your people. Each of us knew the fire we were marching into. It will take more than his anger to dissuade us now.
Oh, if only all generals could have soldiers like you, Ramses. We are not yet ready. We will probe their defenses and wait for our opportunity. I will call on you then.
All right. Before we talk to Nephis, a couple of quick observations about where we're at right now. So this is the end of the second DLC, or the third portion of Secrets of the Obscure. And it is highly disruptive to the flow of the story to have this big thing happen, and then for Patha to be like, we're not ready. I'm going to walk over here and stand on the edge of this cliff and think deep thoughts. The momentum here really picks up. You almost get like a crescendo, and then it just drops off. And we're all standing here like, okay. Unfortunate. Bad pacing. It's not an effective sequence in terms of storytelling. Even though this is a cool instance, it's also an instance that is completely theatrical. It could have all been a cutscene, except that probably would have been more budget intensive. But nothing happens here. We don't fight. We don't do a thing. We don't even serve food or hide from guards or any of the other nonsense that Guild Wars 2 is honestly not as good at as just combat sequences. But we don't do any of it. We just watch all this happen. Speaking of watching it happen, and here's a huge critique that I really have. I don't like storytelling in this format when we are somehow held enraptured or seized with paralysis or something in front of a foe, as we were when Eparch came bound again. His entrance was cool. Like that was cool, and some of the way they had this set up here in this kind of central Coliseum, which itself is like very cool. And actually, this is like reminiscent to like that aqueduct in Guild Wars 1, kind of cool. But like, if Eparch has that power, like, why is any of this relevant? And we remember that Joko did the same thing, where he was just able to bloop, like freeze us. And he's like, ha, got your thumb, and then like Bram knocks us out of it, and then we go on to defeat him. And we see a similar thing here. Like, it's a video game, and we're the hero, and Eparch's the bad guy. We know we're going to beat him. That's not a spoiler. But clearly, he has tremendous power. He was able to hold everyone in a state of paralysis, except for Nephis and Patha, who just stood there and did nothing to address the issue. It's all a little bit ridiculous. It is going to make later things, less satisfying, and it just raises questions. It's unnecessary. It's silly, and unfortunate. All right, Nephis, what do you have to say about any of this? All of this? What's up, buddy? I can see they weigh on you. I just asked my questions, Nephis, and you don't have an answer. How much stronger has this made Eparch than he already was when he was already able to just suspend us in midair, holding our life force hostage or whatever?
The strength he gained from the Queen shouldn't be underestimated. But the greater danger is his wrath. He will care more about killing us than about his own survival. There is nothing that he won't sacrifice for revenge. If we are lucky, he will misstep as a result. But there will be no chance for diplomacy any longer. He will fight to his final breath.
Okay, well, I don't know that we were ever aiming for diplomacy, and I'm not sure. And for what it's worth, even before we see the end of this, like, I always felt like Patha was wrong. I was always with General Nephis on just killing Labris and Labris. I really like Labris. I was always in favor of killing Labris, and I don't know why this played out the way it did. That's fine. It's, storyteller's prerogative, but it just further adds to like the what the heck is happening here. Will the cryptids still follow us now they've seen this thing, this spectacle?
Some will, but many will see Labris's sacrifice as inspiring, as a model of devotion that they too should follow. You cannot truly understand their perspective. They want to believe Eparch is the benevolent leader they've been told. Witnessing martyrdom sets the soul aflame. It will be difficult to put that fire out again.
Alright. So why did Eparch just leave? That's really what this question's asking, right? Why did he just bounce?
I do not know. Eparch does not lack for cunning, but his blood runs hot. It is unlike him to forego a chance at revenge. It concerns me. He has something planned, and we do not know what. We must choose our next moves carefully.
Fair observation. Alright, we got some folks that we can talk to here. Let's go ahead and do that. You got more to say, apparently. Are you having second thoughts?
None whatsoever. My hand was forced the moment Patha came to my door. And the danger Eparch poses to my people has not been lessened since then. Besides, I have been a soldier since your world was young. You will find I am not so easily intimidated.
No one was accusing you of being intimidated, really. Like, it was more a question about decision making. Alright, would Eparch have actually kept his word? I mean, I assume so. Why? He had no reason to lie at that particular point in time.
Doubtful, but not impossible. love for the Queen was genuine, and for her, there's little he wouldn't have done. But the better question is whether Paitha would have accepted it, and that I cannot believe. I've seen the resolve in her eyes. She will sit on the throne of midnight, or she will die trying. No other paths remain.
Okie dokie. Well, best of luck to her on that. It is worth noting, since we're talking about that, like that. So I can see a scenario where at some point, and now I am going to spoil the next video a little bit. But I can see a scenario where at some point in the future, Pathos comes back around as a bad guy. Because you could perceive all these actions throughout the Nios portion of Secrecy Obscure as her being like power hungry. And I mean, at the end of the day, they are Cryptus, and it just like I can still see a future where they bust that out in a couple years. Ramses, things didn't go as planned.
It does appear that way, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Even knowing how fanatically devoted Labris was, I failed to foresee this outcome. All leaders make mistakes. I hope that this will be only a setback. We will press on regardless. We must.
Okie dokie. By the way, how did Labris like just give her life force away and die? Like, is that how Cryptus commit suicide? Like, here, have my life force, and I'm dead. We know that Eparch can like consume life force, but in other examples, like at Hator's Gate, like we're given the impression that they physically consume other Cryptus, but she just like look, her body's still there. She just zoop life force out. We don't really see that anywhere else, and she did it voluntarily, so she pushed her life force to him. Weird thing. Will we be able to breach the Citadel's defenses?
I believe so. When the opportunity arises, there will inevitably be weaknesses, but it may take time to find them. Zekiros has been built up over centuries, both as a symbol of his strength and as a genuine fortress. It won't be easy. Let's hope you're as lucky as everyone believes.
Not just lucky, Ramses. I'm the main character. Arena. Oh, goodness. 3 things. Do you think Patha made the right decision?
Well, maybe this could have been avoided if we just killed Labris right away. But maybe we'd be in the same spot. At the end of the day, we're planning to kill Eparch. Doesn't really matter if he hates us more or less. If anything, we've removed another one of Eparch's generals from the board. That's definitely a positive.
I mean, that is pragmatic, and it's not inaccurate. I mean, Arena kind of looks like the most level person here right now, right? How are the Astral Ward going to feel about this? How's their morale?
I doubt it. We're a resilient bunch, and facing long odds is the nature of our work. Even trapped here, we've heard what Eparch did to our home. Until we have the bastard's head, we won't relent. They're good soldiers, Wayfinder. I'd reckon the best. We won't let you down.
Exciting. All right. Galrath. How's Galrath going to feel about it? Wait until Galrath hears about this.
Is it
It'll
just
certainly
me, or
confirm
am
some
I
suspicions of his. But maybe he's right. Don't get me wrong. I'm in this until the end. I owe them my life. But maybe the Cryptus are destined to be this way. I don't know. I'm a soldier, not a philosopher. And whether we get more backup just isn't my decision. The general marches to war with the soldiers she's got. If that's just us, then we'll do the best we can.
Okie dokie. All right, so we've talked to everybody. Let's go ahead and stand right. Let's stand at the edge of the cliff, the way Patha does, right? Like, ooh, ominous. And we'll wrap the video here. So we thought we had the upper hand, right? Snatched up Eparch's queen, everything's looking good, and then he just does magic things, suspends us in the air, and is like, hey, I like my queen, maybe I'll make a deal. And she's like, nope, no deals. And then she just kills herself and gives him her life force, and now he's really unhappy. That's the gist of it. I wish I could offer you more, but unfortunately, we played the story that ArenaNet wrote. So when we come back, we're going to wrap all this up. One final video to cover that final release, because when you remove green bars, I think like the last DLC is legit like 40 minutes of story, maybe an hour at the absolute most. But it is not much at all. So we're going to cram the entire last DLC into one video, and it shouldn't even be like the longest video ever. So that's where we will go when we come back. Thank you very much.